Hello, third graders. Miss Lozier's coming live at you from my kitchen. This is my first video, so I am dedicating this to all of you who are doing something brand new and who are stepping out of their comfort zone to try and do their very best. I appreciate the courage you've had the past 2 weeks and the courage that you are going to continue to have as you continue to try new things as you learn in a different way. I too am doing something brand new with this video. I never knew how to do a YouTube from the patience of your teachers. They have helped me. And so this is being dedicated to you to keep on trying and to keep doing your best. So here we go. Mrs. McGrath has been talking to you about fractions. We know that fractions are numbers. Some fractions are less than, here's one whole, I have one whole, and some fractions are numbers. They are half of that whole. Well, we need a number to tell us that it's half. It's not quite as big as a whole, and I can find that on the number line. Sometimes we have a number that is 1/3 of a whole. So if this is my one whole and it's in 3 equal pieces, I have to have a number for this. And this number is 1/3. And that can be written right on the number line also. So today I have a book called Apple Fractions. My class knows how much I love to read in math and in ELA. I believe they go hand in hand. And this book was written by Jerry Pallotta and illustrated by Rob Bolster. Now, I just so happened to have an apple in my refrigerator, and I know that if I bit this, it would be nice and juicy, and I would have a piece of it. But the question is, would I have a fraction of it? If you're saying no, Miss Lozier, you will not have a fraction of it if you just bit it, you're absolutely right. A piece of something is not a fraction of something. A fraction has to be equal pieces of the one whole. Let's venture into this book to see how they use this apple to make fractions and not pieces. Apple fractions. This book is about apples and math. Apples are a fruit that we eat. They do not grow under rocks. They do not swim in the ocean. They are not made in factories. Apples grow on trees. Apples. Thousands of different types of apples are grown around the world. Apples can be red, yellow, green, or some combination of these 3 colors. Maybe you see your favorite apple in that basket. Fractions. What is a fraction? A fraction is part of a whole thing. A fraction is shown by placing one number over another number. A line separates the numbers. One number over another number, and a line separates. Macintosh. Here is one whole Macintosh. This type of apple can be both a drink and a snack. A Macintosh is very juicy, but it's also crunchy and fun to eat. One whole. If you would like to share one apple with someone, what would you do? 2 kids, 1 apple. A solution would be to divide the apple into 2 parts. A stem for one kid and an apple for the other kid. No, that's not fair. A stem for one kid and the apple for the other? That's not fair. Here, how about a better way? Divide the apple into 2 equal parts. Here is 1/2 of the apple. Boys and girls, it is written as the number and it is written in word form. Notice when you write a fraction in word form, you use a hyphen. 1 hyphen half. 1/2. 1/2. Here is the other half of the apple. 2 kids, 1 apple, 2 halves. Sharing apples and learning about fractions is fun. Let me show you the 2 halves. Notice they're equal. Golden delicious. This apple is called a golden delicious. On the outside, it has a thin skin. On the inside, the fruit is soft. 3/3. What if 3 friends want to eat this apple? 3 friends, 1 apple. 3 equal parts. Notice that this part is the same size and shape as this one and this one. Remember, if it's not, it's a piece. If they're equal, then it's a fraction. 3/3. 3 pieces. 3 pieces out of 3 pieces made 1 whole apple. 1/3. Here is 1/3 of a golden delicious apple. Not all apples have white fruit. The inside of this apple is light yellow. Here's the number. Here's the word. Here's the number. Here's the word. 1/3, 2/3. Here is what is left over from 1 whole apple after taking away 1/3. 2/3. 1/3 plus 2/3 equals 3/3. 3/3 is a whole apple. Let me show you that on the math chart. We had 1/3, 1 out of 3 pieces, plus the 2 out of the 3 pieces. And I didn't say 3/6. I said 3/3. I didn't have 6 pieces. I only had 3. I had 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. There's my 2/3. Fractions are fun. So 3/3, 1 whole apple. Granny Smith. Those are those green ones that are sour. This is a Granny Smith apple. Is it ripe? Yes. Granny Smith is green even when it's ripe and ready to be picked up. This apple is sometimes hard to chew. It's not sweet. It is a little sour. 1 whole. Word form, number form. What if 4 people in a family want to eat 1 Granny Smith apple? The apple would be needed to be divided into 4 pieces. But if they're going to be fractions, they have to be 4 equal pieces. One fourth, 1/4. Each family member would get 1/4. The top number of fraction is called the numerator. The bottom number of a fraction is called the denominator. The numerator of the fraction, the numerator of this fraction is 1. The bottom number of the fraction is called the denominator. The fraction 3/4 has a numerator of 3 and a denominator of 4. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Notice I have 4 1/4, and together they make my 1 whole. Red Delicious. Stem, skin, pulp, core, seeds. Which apple tastes the best? Everyone has a favorite. Many people think Red Delicious apple is the best looking and the best tasting. It is time to learn the parts of an apple, and I just read them to you. So you can go ahead and look at the diagram and read them for yourself. Most apples have 10 seeds. So I can't wait. I'm going to cut this apple up when we're done, and I need to find out if there's 10 seeds in there. But remember, they said most apples. Maybe you can try it. Orange. I just so happen to have an orange. Here we are. Notice the orange. This is not an apple. It's an orange. It is another fruit that you can enjoy while learning fractions. There is no need to cut it up. Under the peel, it grows in wedges. Oranges grow in warm climates. Apples grow in cold climates. That's why we go apple picking in the fall when we go back to school. A gala apple. Some people say gala, I say gala. 1/5. 1 is your numerator, 5 is your denominator. It's written as a number, it's written in word form. A gala is a medium-sized apple. It is about the size of your fist. The largest apples are as big as grapefruits. The smallest are the size of cherries. The gala is cut into 5 equal pieces. Each piece is 1/5. 1/5 plus 4/5 equals 5/5. When the numbers above and below the line are the same, the fraction is equal to 1 whole. There's the 1/5. We added it to those 4 1/5, and we got 5/5. You put it back together, 1 whole. So when the numerator and the denominator is the same, you have 1 whole. 1/6. That is an apple blossom. We'll be smelling those in a few weeks. Apple trees grow flowers in the spring. Bees fly from flower to flower and spread pollen on the apple blossoms. This is the start of an apple. Thank you, bees. Without bees, there would be no apples. 1/6. 1/6 of the bees is busy working. 5/5 of the bees are looking for another apple tree, or even a pear tree, a plum tree, or a cherry tree. Cortlands. you cut an apple sideways, you will notice that the core is shaped like a star. Dividing the apple sideways instead of from top to bottom will not give you equal pieces. The top, the middle, and the bottom of the apple are each a different width. Just so happen to have a knife and my apple. So once again, if we have fractions, they have to be equal pieces. So if I cut this like this, and I say I'm going to make thirds, I need 3 pieces to have thirds. Oh, boys and girls, there's 1 piece, that's a third. There's my star. There's a piece. Oh, and there's a piece. I must have fractions because I have 3 pieces. Fractions have to be equal pieces. This is not 1/3. So if I'm going to cut it like this, I cannot get equal pieces. And as you know, Miss Lozier's a crybaby. And if I get the smaller piece, I'm not going to be happy. So if we're going to do fractions, I need to cut my apple from top to bottom and make equal pieces. But you get a pretty star. 1/7. At the top of the page, you see 6/7. 6/7 is the number, and then they showed it in word form. Again, the hyphen separates. There are 3 basic types of apples: eating apples, juicing apples, and baking apples. No matter how you slice it, figurative, the Cortland is a wonderful apple to use when baking a pie. Asian pear. Sometimes looks can fool you. This fruit looks like an apple. It is shaped like an apple, but it tastes like a pear. Why? It's a pear. Let's use the Asian pear to learn about improper fractions. 8/8. 1/8 plus 8/8 equals 9/8. 9/8. If this pear is divided into 8 equal pieces, each piece is 1/8 of the pear. A whole pear is 8/8. Imagine you have 9/8. 9/8 is an improper fraction. You would have to use 2 pairs to make 9/8. 9/8 is really 1 whole pair and 1/8 of a second pair. 1/9 cider. What is the difference between cider and apple juice? Cider is squeezed from fresh apples. The liquid is tan and full of pulp. Apple juice is cider that has been filtered. The tan pulp is removed and the apple juice is clear. Are you thirsty? Would you like 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, or 4/4? 1/10, 9/10. Here are 10 apples. Oh, well, there were 10 apples. Here are 9 apples. 1 apple was eaten. 1/10 is now a core. 9/10 are whole apples. The millions and tons of apples harvested every year are still picked by hand. Out of every 10 apples, 6 are eaten fresh. 2 out of every 10 are squeezed into cider and apple juice. The remaining 2 out of every 10 are made into canned apples, filling, pie filling, jams, jellies, dried apples, and apple butter. 6 tenths, 2 tenths, 2 tenths equals 10 tenths. Remember, it's the 10 pieces. 6 of them here, 2 of them there, and 2 of them there. The tenth stays the same. Apple pie. While you were reading this book, someone baked an apple pie. Let's eat a fraction of it. I think I am going to eat my delicious apple. Have a good day.